Hello, hi guys, good evening. Has it right? Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great honor for me to have this opportunity to have this speech with you. And may I know, can you hear me clearly? Please answer me, please. Thank you. Can you please answer me whether you can hear me clearly? Let's test. Let's have a test. Hi, hello, 西西，晚上好。Yes, yes, thank you, thanks a lot. Right, guys. Now, I'm sorry, the PPT slides is kept uploading. It's not ready yet, and let's just give it for a minute. And we are hi, yes, hi, Mr. or Mrs. D, right? Hello, yeah, and we are gonna simply just start it, right? And let me have a brief introduction of myself first. Perhaps this is the first time for us to meet each other, right? My name is Sean. Right, guys, you can just call me Sean, and you don't have to call me sir. And I have been in the financial area for like 10 to 15 years because some of those times I spent a great amount of the time on the this auditing and the financial analysis, and the other time the other part of the time I spent is on the ACCA teaching. So I still have the ACCA classes such as SBL teaching in some universities in China, both in English and both in Chinese. And at the same time, I deliver the corporate training, finance training, and business analysis training to some of those organizations in 500 fortunes. So I hope everybody can enjoy what we are going to talk today, and I wish everybody could clear this SBL exams at the very first attempt. All right, guys. So I think the slides is ready. The slides is ready. So one more time, please answer me. Is it clear and loud? Is it loud and clear? Can you hear me? Right. One more time, please. Let me just test for it before we start the real lessons. And we are going to take about 1 hour to finish today's lesson. One more time, please. Can you hear me clearly, loud and clear? Yeah, right. Thank you, Marty. Thank you, 9400, and thank you, Gus. Thank you. All right. Okay, and here is the a code that you can scan for more information. You know where to find more information. And I'm from Golden Education. You know, this is the quite established financial institutions in China, and we have 3 different investors who are very financially viable, and and therefore we are dedicated to the international financial trainings recently, and we have been doing the financial trainings to university students and the corporate accountant and the corporate financiers for like almost 15 years. So I guess if you could simply Google the Golden Education, you know all of these introductions about the Golden Education, and therefore is Golden Finance. And we have a great amount of those qualified accountant, meaning from Big Four, universally, delivering different lessons such as ACCA lessons, the CFA lessons, and even the other corporate training lessons to all those who are interested in their career path, further developing your career path. And we have a great amount of those database that I think will be contributely or positively contributed to your coming examination in ACCA SBLs. I think that's enough about Golden Education, and here is my introduction. I don't know whether we have met each other before. Have we met before, guys? Perhaps you have listened to a short session of SBL previously. I recommended to you, and I personally recorded that lessons for you, and that's the reason that ACCA kept promoting it. And here is my brief introduction. I am one of these lecturers and the speakers recommended by ACCA UK. Here is the previous SBL revision lessons, and UK introduced 4 different lectures globally to the students in Australia, right? And I think enough about that. Right, Molly said the short session is amazing. Thank you, Molly. And likely we have a vigilant student here. Likely we have a vigilant student here. Thank you. All right. I've got a couple of prize winners, and that's not the time for me to show off that. But I really hope that we could have one of these SBL prize winners in the coming examinations within you guys, right? I have been looking forward to it. And today, our topic is to where to start enterprise management, and the lessons that have been designed and focusing on the ACCA exams of SBL first module. The name for the module number 1 is called leadership. Before we come to talk about the real lessons, and here are those industry and sectors that I strongly recommend you to be familiar with, because I've been to London, ACCA Global Office, and Australia Sydney office, Singapore office, Hong Kong office. We talked to many of those people who are in charge with the education of ACCA education centers. So I have been advised with the following industry and sectors that will be coming up, right? Will be coming up in your exams. So I strongly recommend you, if you are not familiar with these sectors, please spend some time on Financial Times or the other sources of information that you can easily get online to further elaborate those areas or sectors. You have to know their basic knowledge, such as the fundamental business logic, and who are the main suppliers or the players in those sectors, and what are their business models, and what are their profit models, and how are they gonna dominate this area in the next 5 to 10 years. And you are about to be able to summarize the way that they conduct their businesses. And all of those information can be easily get online globally, right? You can simply Google it, or you can also scan the following code, the following 2-dimensional code. This is our WhatsApp, or this is our WhatsApp code, and you can get all those necessary informations from it, right? So bear in mind, trust me, before you take the SBL exam, you need to be familiar with those areas that will all be coming up in your examinations. All right, guys, thank you. And here we are going to talk about our main topics. I think we are going to talk about for 1 hour, right? And the first module of ACCA SBL, after the syllabus has to be changed in your coming examinations, will not be changed. I mean, in simple English, the first module is the same. The first module, the key topics are still as follow. It's exactly like what we have discussed in our previous short session. That's our vision, value, mission, and strategy. You have to be able to help the company identify or help the company define their vision, define or clarify their value or their mission into their mission statement, together with their relationship with their strategy. You need to be able to talk about those things, all right? Which is very important. This is the first in everything. This is the first in everything, was the first topic. And the second topic today is the leadership, right? Our topic, our ACCA syllabus require us to be able to demonstrate the best leadership style and leadership approach to a company like our client as their advisors to help them illustrate, help them to decide which type of leadership is the most suitable for their current operation or their businesses. So you need to be able to identify, you have to study all those basic fundamental leadership theories before you make a comprehensive decision. And the third topic today is still the culture. What kind of a culture do we pursue? What kind of culture do we need to recommend to the organization, which is better than their current, which is better than the one they are currently holding, right? So the best model for the culture is the culture map. So the three basic topics are consistently in your module number 1, which is the fundamental topic, and never changed, right? If you want to study carefully about this, if you want to study very, very detailedly and seriously about these three topics, you need to listen to the short session of what I have recorded for you guys, all right? So today we are gonna have a quick recap of these three topics, as well as some real cases in our real life. And we are gonna spend some time on Huawei, right? And because this company is not a listed company, but we can still trace their strategies, their information about their strategies, the information about their corporate governance, the information about their risk management, which are very, very similar to our SBL syllabus. So SBL, in my opinion, is the best paper in ACCA entire syllabus, because this is the most practicable one and requires everybody sitting here act like a consultant or advisors in Big Four or the consulting services, right? You have to shift, you have to keep changing your roles from accountant to advisors or consultant, right? And this is what the SBL requires you to do. So guys, please tell me how many of you have started the short session I have recorded for you guys, which is I think is a very good lesson for you to study the first module, and it's very comprehensive with lots of information in it, and I spent a lot of time preparing on it. I hope you did study the short session. Please tell me how many of you have comprehensively studied, watched all 6 hours lessons to me. Please, if you have watched that, please answer 1. Just type in 1. If you're not ready yet, please type in 2. I want to have this survey first. And while you are typing, and we are going to talk about the first topic: vision, value, mission, and the strategy. All right. The first section of our first topic of our today, you need to be able to understand the definition of a strategy. Molly said, haha. Right. Definition of a strategy. What is the definition of a strategy? In our short session, we have already studied the definition. If you want to decide a definition in SBL, remember, you need to identify the most relevant verb. So we have decided that there are 3 most important words here. The first one is determine, second, allocate, third, achieve. So complete it into a sentence. What is a strategy? Determine long-term direction of the company. So therefore, we have the relevant business models to analyze the long-term direction, such as ANSOF model. And the second one is allocate. What do you allocate? We try to allocate the limited resources of your organization, right? And what do we want to achieve? Of course, that's stakeholders' expectation and the purposes. So what is the stakeholders' expectation and the purposes? There will be the vision, value, mission, goal, objectives. So here are what we need to understand about the strategy. So if you understand the meaning of that, we can carry on to talk about the V2MGO. That will be the fundamental vocabularies in SBL. We have been tested like twice in the entire SBL exams. In simple English, it appears twice in your exam. You need to understand the meaning of each one of them. All right? For example, like a real complaint. This is our specimen paper. Specimen paper 2, real complaint. Here, we have our mission, they have our vision. So you need to decide whether their mission and the vision are relevant, whether this mission and the mission are still good enough to be complained. I have a practice letter for Huawei. You can easily identify whether the current one is still suitable or not. And carry on, guys. And this is the recap. I'm not gonna spend a great amount of time discussing the detailed syllabus of each one of them. If you are interested, please watch the short session of SBL. So in the short session, we have summarized the meaning of vision is future desired state. 3 words, right? Very easy. Future desired state is our vision. So Saudi's vision, like road to zero, and Samsung's vision is inspire the world, create the future. So what about the value? Value is the way that business is carried out. You know, this is something that I want to talk a little bit more about it, because in our Chinese culture, value is much more than the English term value. In the English environment, in the English language environment, value is simply the way that the business is carried out. If we have a shared value, we can do business together. If we do not have a shared value, such as you are hiring child laborers and you are acquiring a sweatshop, which is totally deviated from what I am long-termly standing for, that would be a value that I am not conquered with. Therefore, I don't want to do business with you. I care about my own corporate social responsibilities. I have what I stand for. So that's English language term. But in Chinese, the value has something even more. It's like an ideology. It's like an ideology. So guys, I hope you can understand the differences between the Western and the Eastern. So in Chinese culture, value consists something like the ideology. If we share the same ideology and we can do business together. If we do not have the similar ideologies, we can still find ways that could be manageable, right? That's the slightly difference between the two. And it's not only the value proposition. If you check the dictionary of this value, in English term is the value proposition the company is holding, right? But in our Chinese culture, that will be totally 2 different things. What we stand for, what we describe value is I think it's much larger or maybe even more than the English term. So if you want to identify or if you want to research Huawei's value, if you adopt English thinking into Huawei's value, you got in trouble, because you won't understand. You won't be understand the Huawei's value. That's the Chinese culture. That's the Chinese traditional ideology, right? So first, I have to be clear with that. So Google, this company, has fundamentally 3 basic values, and the last one has been recently changed. So what are the 3? What are the 3? The first one, you can be serious without a suit. This is the first value statement they are holding. The statement long-termly drive their innovation, long-termly drive their motivation of employees, and to help the company create more value, help the company to go towards the same goal. So you can be serious without a suit is their first value. I spent a lot of time in short session discussing the reason of it, right? So, And the second one is fast is better than slow. That meaning for the way they do things. Fast is better. Fast is better than slow. So in the internet world or in the 21st century, the speed determines your success. So in Google, their company, inside the company, I've been to Google London, it's like that. It's exactly like that. So they have different equipment or the facilities to help the employees improve their speed in communications or even the way they have their dinner or lunch. And the third one is don't be evil. Like I said, don't be evil has been changed into a new one. So what is that new one? Please go and research for the new one. This is the news that you are supposed to be aware of. Where to read one more time? Financial Times, FT is the best paper that what I strongly recommend. And ACCA UK, ACCA actually is from UK. Everybody knows. So many of the way that they speak, the way the SBL examiners deliver their English is rather similar to the way that the Financial Times is writing their papers. If you read, trust me, if you read, you find SBL is rather simple, right? Okay, and so guys, value statement, we won't spend any time on that. And in our previous lessons, we've talked about someone who did the right thing in your, we did the right thing in the business environment, like Fisher and Price, and they have many recall. And also we've talked about someone who did the wrong thing, such as the Volkswagen emission scandals and even the Starbucks, right? Okay, I think that's fair enough. And today is the recap. I'm not going to spend the time on detailed knowledge study. And after that, mission. What is the mission, guys? Mission is the fundamental purpose for the organization to exist. All right. So this is something very fundamental for the company. And the mission statement normally carries their value. One more time, mission statement normally carries company's value. So in your SBL exam, if you do not find the value statement or the value proposition in a mission statement, something wrong, something terribly wrong happening in this company's mission statement. You are, as an accountant or a consultant advisors, you are supposed to be able to identify that error and tell the board to change that awkward circumstances. Right, and after that, I have summarized the 6 elements of a mission statement. In your exam, if the exam wants you to write down one mission statement, or the exam wants you to comment whether the current mission statement is good enough, whether the current mission statement is sufficiently driven enough, you need to have these 6 areas of testing on the mission statement. The first one, you need to check their language, whether it's a formal language. Second, you need to check whether it's supposed to be published within your company. Published. The mission statement is not for the outsiders to read. The main purpose is to drive the innovation, drive the companies towards to the right way. So it's supposed to be designed for internally used, not for outsiders. But of course, the outsiders, like the consultant, like the advisors, they can easily identify their client's mission statement on their website or even on their annual report. But the main purpose is not for the outsiders to explain, but for the insider to innovate and drive themselves. And the third one is mission statement must reflect the core value of a company. And the fourth one, mission statement must support their strategies. Fifth, concerns both internal and external stakeholders. And the last one will be your mission statement must have something at least called risk awareness in the company, because today the risk management is very important. So mission statement must have these 6 elements. In your exam, if the question want you to comment on whether the current mission statement is sufficiently good enough, here are the fundamental criteria to be used on a testing. All right, guys. And carry on. Let's talk about the goal and objective, which are rather simple. Goal is a general aim and a qualitative nature, and the objective is a specific aim and the quantitative in nature in terms of days, time, exact time, and percentage numbers. So here is the English. And I strongly recommend everybody here to improve your English by reading more on Financial Times, because I think some of the examiners in UK are specifically focusing on your English. That's my opinion. Of course, officially, ACCA will not mark you wrong on your English grammar, but at least you need to use the right vocabularies. Goal and objectives are totally two different things, which the goal is a very general term and the objective is a specific aim, right? So be careful about the way that you put the word into your exam docket or your exam script online. All right, guys, so here we go. This model has never showed up in your short session because the short session only have 6 hours. I do not have time on this model, but this model is a very good one, which has tested only twice in SBL, but I believe will be coming up soon, will be coming up soon and more often in your exams. What is that? This model actually is from the United States. We call them the Baldrige model. The name is called Baldrige model, and they combine our Module 1 leadership, Module 3 strategy, and even some other knowledges like the IT knowledge or the financial analysis into one. So this model at the same time have something value or the mission statement right here. Have you seen that? So Baldrige is a very important model. It's like an integration of many different topics in SBL syllabus. So I think everybody should spend some time on this model and at least study the reasons of this model, or you can consult with me. Right? If you're not familiar with the usage of this model, if you are not happy with it, please do not hesitate to let me know. All right, guys, you know where to find me. Here is something that you are about to carry out. Right, but this is a very good model. I think after the syllabus has changed, you know, the recent syllabus for your coming examinations, 2021 September exams, is about 15 to 20% changes from the original original SBL exam syllabus. One more time, there are 15 to 20% syllabus changed in your coming examinations. Some of the models, in my opinion, are useless models, or maybe old-time models, or maybe some detailed syllabuses are very, very difficult to be put into your exam, have already been or deleted, which is a good thing, very good thing. For example, in the risk management, we have a ALOP principle. The first time we talk about the ALOP, that's as low as reasonably possible. This principle, first time we study in AA, audit and assurance. That's the first time we touch about that topic. But today in SBL, you can forget about it. It has been deleted from your SBL syllabus. So guys, you have to read the latest, the newest syllabus. On last page, one more time, last page, switch on the, just turn to your last page, you see all the summaries on changes in your coming examinations. Great amount of the old syllabus has been deleted from your current one, and the new models, something like risk, something like 3 defenses, something like risk universal. You know, there are new models kept putting into your new syllabus. So the previous study, I mean the old syllabus is no longer eligible, is no longer suitable for your coming examinations. All right, guys, I hope you really follow. And models like this, something complete, something very, very complex will be coming very often in your exams. All right, guys? Okay, second topic is about the leadership in crisis. In our short session, the leadership, I have summarized 2 fundamental leaderships to you: trait theory, behavioral. You know, these 2 have been tested quite often in your previous P3. We call them a business analysis exam in ACCA. But in SBL, the theories like this has already been completely embedded into your exams. It's rather difficult. It's very difficult to identify the exact one. But when you read the case carefully, you can easily identify the differences between different theories and the way that the examiners put the theories inside the case. So the way that we test these knowledges has been changed. We were not asking you on the exact leadership style or the exact theories that we are about to adopt in the company, because SBL tends to be very practical. So something that you need to identify is the way that they are currently holding, and also the way that you are recommend. So before you are able to do that recommendations, at least you need to know exact theory, right? The exact theory, what it is. So the trait theory, what is a trait? That is your quality. So to be a eligible manager, to be a good leader, you need to have the following traits, right? I have already summarized all those traits for you in your short session. And in your exam, you know, these are the traits that I have summarized. If you want to take a photo, you can take it, because this is everything in your short session. You know, guys, in our exam, like the specimen paper number 3 or the marking scheme, we call them machine shop. The final question, I showed them in your short sessions is the qualities of that potential managers that you recommend. Can you still remember that question, right? If you study the short session, you know where to find. Because in simple English, SBL exam, really, they did test it about the previous page. So if you can simply memorize this page, you get all necessary marks from it, right? It won't go. Just to simply memorize these traits, trust me, it's very useful. Right, because these are the traits that you are supposed to write down in your recommendation letters to the top management, to the senior management, such as the board, right, as a consultant. All right, guys, right. And second one is behavioral theory, and I have told you that behavioral theories has 2 subsections. Right, these subsections, the first one is called Blake and Mountain Managerial Grid. Second one is the McGregor Theory X and the 3Y. Very fundamental. Never show up in your SBL exam, but you need to study, because if only you study these 2 models, then you are about to be able to tell them how and what they did wrong and what recommendations you could make to them. Right? So Blake and Mountain Managerial Grid, I have summarized a good model for you. You can take a photo of it, or you can, of course, you can study them detailedly in short session. I have recorded for you. Right? So this is the very easy managerial grid. I think the first time we touched about this one is in your business and technology paper, used to call F1 in ACCA. And hello, yes, hello. Oh, yeah. We have a very good friend from Philippines. Hi, how are you doing today? How are you? Hi. And right, let's carry on, guys. The model, Blake and Mountain Managerial Grid, I have already summarized everything for you. The published manager, and we call them a 1.1 manager. In real life, we call them, this is the 1.1 manager. I'm fed up with the 1.1 manager. Why? Because the manager is naturally lazy, because the manager is showing little interest in our work, something we criticize. And the second one will be the 1.9 manager. We call them a country club. They are happy with themselves. They deliver the satisfying relationship with their employees, but in terms of the attention or their time devoting on their work or their job are pretty minimum. These persons are also lazy, but they spend much of the time on the relationship with their employees. They treat their employees like good friend, but if you want to study something from him, it's going to be difficult, right? Country club and task oriented. 9.1 managers are task oriented. This kind of managers showing little interest in personal relationship building. They won't spend any unnecessary time on social meeting. What they are doing is keep asking you on that work, doing that, doing this one, doing that one, and they will keep you busy. So 9.1 manager is not bad, because in different circumstances for different type of employees, we need to have a manager like this to long-termly drive them, or long-termly manage them, or long-termly coach them, to push them. Some employees are naturally lazy. You need to have a manager like this to push them. So we don't criticize on the type of the managers they are currently holding. And what we do in exam is only to recommend the best and the most suitable one. Can you follow me, guys? Right? Hello, Helen. Right. Hello, Helen. Hi, Helen. Where are you from? Right. Good to see you. My name is Sean. Right, Helen, and right. So 9.9 manager is team-oriented manager. I told you in Big Four, many of the Big Four managers, accounting firm, Big Four managers are like that, very responsible and accountable for it, right? And so I think that's it. Hello, Vivian. Hello, Vivian. How are you doing tonight? Is it a daytime in your place? Where are you from? Please, let's share the information. Today, we only have a couple people here, right, ladies and gentlemen? It's not that serious. Please, let's just talk. The way that I want to help with it is to fully understand your problems on the exam, and I want to share my experience to you, and at the same time to positively contributing to your effectiveness in your revision, right? Because the time is pretty minimum, right? We have about maybe less than 60 days on that, right? I don't want to push you out, or I don't want to give you that much pressure, but you have to be realized on that. All right, guys. So McGregor theory X and the theory Y is another example. I think everybody understand that the employees have X type and Y type, and you as a manager, and you have to act like what? You have to act like what the required. So if you use the wrong way, for example, if your employee, your team member is X type, but you act like a Y, it's going to be very difficult to manage your employee. Your employee is going to bully you, you know. Your people is going to bully you because the X type of employee is naturally lazy as well, and they only do what you require them short-term, right? Sometimes they don't want to spend that much of attention on the long-term planning. They are not good at it. What you want them to do is simply finish the hand-on task. That will be enough. So what you need to use is the X type. You do not recommend the Y type. One more time, in your exam, you have to identify whether the type of management is wrong in this case, right, guys? Right. Hello, William, watching from UK. Cool. Right. Thank you. And hello, Sosi. Oh, what a great name, Sosi. Are you from the TV? Right, just a joke. And so here's a summary of what I want you to memorize or to be familiar with, the features of X type and the features of X type of managers as well. This one is the X type of employee, and this page is the feature of X type of managers, right? You need to use the right way. That's enough. All right, guys. And if you want to listen to these short sessions, don't forget, Golden Education is the places that you are supposed to go and find. And here is our WhatsApp code. All right, guys. Get whatever you want from this code. That will be enough. We call them a QR code. Quick response code. All right. Enough, guys. And topic number 3, that will be the culture. So most suitable or the most valuable model you have to study carefully is the culture map. In our previous study, F1 or Business and Technology BT, we call them BT. It's rather simple. It's too simple. You know, in SBL, when I was in UK, I talk about this one with the with one of the recommended examiners and in the education center. So many of those peoples from ACCA head office strongly recommend everybody here to study carefully about company's culture, because the culture is something that helps with their leadership. If something that you want to implement is not going to be implemented in a certain operation or a certain area, sometimes it's not about your leadership style. Sometimes it's not about your leadership approach. Sometimes the problem happens in your culture. I can give you one example. When the Chinese company Meidi acquired KUKA, is a German company. KUKA is one of the best robot company in the world. I think everybody knows that company KUKA. We can see the KUKA machine, KUKA arm everywhere in manufacturing site. So Chinese company Meidi from Guangdong province acquired KUKA, and the most obvious problem is not about your leadership. It's about your culture inconsistency, because the European culture and the Chinese culture in the company are totally different, very different. So the most difficult part of acquisition is not the previous part. It's not about the deals. It's not about the price, the quotation. It's not about the way that you asking firms helping you to check whether their financial statement are true or not. It's not that. In real life, ladies and gentlemen, it's about the PMI. What is the PMI? What is a PMI? This is the abbreviation of a post-merge integration. So the most difficult part of the acquisition is the post one, is the later one, because the problem, like the culture problems, will appear later, not now. So a great amount of the managers, professional managers in the world will not be aware of that. So when they realize the culture indeed contribute negatively to their leadership, contribute negatively to their decision implementations or decision makings, that will be too late. So in the real life, many of the key persons, such as very qualified, high-ranking engineers in KUKA in Germany, head office, after the acquisition, just a couple of months, they left the company, left the firm, because they are not happy with the culture. So culture is very important, because this one helps the implementations of a strategy, helps your leadership, helps your operation, and something fundamentally wrong could happen in the culture. So how are we gonna test in exam? In simple English, we give you one culture, and what we want you to do in your exam is to identify the inappropriateness of the culture currently and recommend what are the new cultures that the company is supposed to build up by their management. Of course, this is something we do as an advisor or the consultant in Big Four in real life. So guys, if you want to analyze the culture, here are the eight physical manifestations in real life. stories, symbol, power structure, organizational structure, control system, ritual and routines, and even the the center one locked everybody together, links everybody together, locks everybody firmly. That will be the paradigm. So what is the paradigm? Paradigm is the abbreviation. Paradigm is a snapshot. A paradigm is something taken for granted, right? So when you analyze this company's culture, here the culture map is something that you have to bear in your mind and put every individual dimensions and areas down into your paper. And of course, in SBL, you have to recommend the most suitable one to them. So whether the current culture is unsuitable, whether the current culture is inappropriate, whether the current culture and how the current culture could be improved. Here are the answers. All right, guys, so please study the short session carefully, and here are something that I have already summarized for you. If you want to take a photo, of course, yes, right, of course. Here is everything. We studied that one in short session. I'm not going to spend much of time, but what I want you to study is, I want you to know is culture, very important on your leadership, strategy implementations, and the normal daily operations. All right, guys. Right, here is the organizational structure that I have designed for you. Is it good? Yes, I believe so. Thank you. And if you want to, one more time, if you want to study the short session of SBL 6 hours, module number 1, you know where to find. Here is Golden Education's What's Up. All right, this is the QR code. And let's have a short discussion, guys. Right? Because I keep talking for like 40 minutes, and I want you to tell me how you view the Asian cultures in work. Asian environment, working environment is generally acknowledged to be workaholic, right? And we work like 9 hours, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. But this is a little bit too much. So do you know the meaning of 996? Let me ask many of you. Do you know the meaning of 996 in Chinese or Asian culture? What is that? Helen's from Malaysia. All right, good. And Ceci, okay, many thanks. Right, good. Please. What's the meaning of 996 in Asian culture? What is that? Or maybe in Chinese environment, what is that? Is your work starts from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and 6 days in a row, 6 days a week. So you only take a 1 day break. And do you think this type of culture is acceptable to young generation? Ladies and gentlemen, please tell me, do you think this culture is acceptable for young generations? Probably not. Probably not, right? Because the young generation in Asian countries like China, Singapore, or Japan, the young people have changed their ideologies and they won't spend that much of time on work. They need to balance, they know how to balance their time in their life, right? They need to have some quality time with their family. They need to have the time that playing games. If you are the examiners, asking your employees to work like the old way is gonna be very difficult to identify any suitable employees. So in simple English, nowadays, the companies that I have been dealing with, because I spend a lot of time on corporate training, and I also have deeply studied and researched many of the company's culture and rituals, that shows that recently many of the company's boss or their senior management have already realized the problems of the 996, and they are contributing and devoting positively to any possible changes on that. And I hope the day come fast, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, after that, and let's talk about Huawei. Today, I think the most valuable part is this part. You have to listen carefully. And what I want you to study carefully is to download Huawei's annual report, because everything here is from Huawei website and from Huawei's annual report. And the reason that I want you to study that is because the website of Huawei and the annual report of Huawei closely and clearly illustrates the SBL syllabus. Because after you read, why the leadership and the corporate governance, they are linked together. Our syllabus have the leadership, our syllabus also have the corporate governance. These two are putting together horizontally. This is one thing actually, from different angles. Leadership is from individual angle, and the corporate governance is from a public angle. It's rather the same, right, guys? So after you read these knowledges, you read about the Huawei's annual report or any company's website or their annual report, you understand the linkages between our syllabus, why they put the models in that way. All right. And here, right, thank you, Vivian. Vivian said, I finished all the short sessions and showing amazing. Thank you. And I strongly agree with what you said. Right, it's a joke. Right, Huawei's mission, vision, and the value. Let's check. Here is their old vision, mission, and value. Ladies and gentlemen, the previous Huawei's vision is to enrich life through communication, which is too small. It's not broad enough. It's not what Huawei is doing now. This is about, like 15 years ago. Their vision is old. And their mission, what is their mission? To focus on our customers' market challenges and needs by providing excellent ICT solutions and services in order to consistently create maximum value for our customer. This is rather simple as well. 15 years ago, it's too simple because at that time, Huawei was small. At that time, their competitors, their rivalries were very, very strong, such as Ericsson, Sony Ericsson, yes, such as the American company and the German companies. They dominated the communication area, communication or ICT solutions for like many decades. So at that time, Huawei was weak, and their vision and the mission were very narrow-minded, were not broad enough. But now they changed, ladies and gentlemen. Here is the new one, Huawei's new one. Let's check. What is the new vision? The combined vision and the mission together. This is something new happening. something very Huawei. They combine vision and the mission. They kept creating new ideas. Our vision and the mission is to bring digital to every person. You see, the broadness of that is much different. And home and organizations for a fully connected and intelligent world. What is that? This is diversity. This is what we call them very comprehensive and many different angles from many different perspectives, and they combine every stakeholder's insight, their vision and the mission. So the extent to which what Huawei is trying to achieve is rather different, because they are kept evolving. Now that's something very competitive for a company like Huawei, right? And their goals is to become the top ICT vendors for telecommunications overseas, not domestically, not in China, overseas. You see, this is something to change. But did they say which year? Not. If they put down a year or the exact time on that, there will not be a goal. There will be an objective. All right, guys. And Adam said, I love the short session. It helps a lot. Thank you, Adam. Thank you. Right. And here is some screenshot from Huawei. And some of you may not be aware of their product. They have a consumer product, a business product, and they have this something like phones, laptops, tablets, and wearables, audios. This is for consumer product. So Here is their business product, and this is an easy type, and I will not spend much of time. What I want you to do is to understand the following lessons. Who is Huawei? Founded in 1987, Huawei is a leading global provider of information and communication infrastructure and smart devices. We have approximately 119,000 employees and operates in over 170 countries and regions, serving more than 3 billion people around the world. This is something very new from their website. You can see that. And here comes their mission. What is Huawei's mission? Is to bring digital to every person, home, organization, previously seen that, for a fully connected, intelligent world. To this end, let's read, that means Huawei, will drive ubiquitous connectivity, promote unique access, and provide ultimate computing, and build powerful digital. So what exactly are they talking about? Even redefine user experience. What is that? I call them a casio, ladies and gentlemen. I used to call them a case. Now I call them a casio time. What is that? It's not that brand, right, from Japan. No. This is the new time, a new era that many companies like Huawei is pursuing. What is C? C stands for connectivity, guys. Their vision, their goals has been kept changing. Their mission statement has been kept changing. So in your exam, what you can help the company with their mission, to help the company with their goal, to help the company with their business intelligence, or even their business, is the casio. Always remember this short abbreviation. What is that? First one is connectivity. If you are lack of innovation, focus on the casio. Connectivity and autonomous and shared service and integration of risk. If you want to check the original designer of casio, you won't find anybody, because this is what I designed for you to help with your SBL exam. Connectivity, something the company is focusing on for the 21st century. If you do not focus on the IT, IS, information technology, information system, if you lose the connectivity with the outsider accidentally, you are out of the game, right, guys? So connectivity is for something that's very first. Autonomous, that means you have to use the machine to do the business for you, right? Automations, robots, and business intelligence all are autonomous. Or maybe I can change this one into automation is better. I think it's automation, right? And shared service, integration of risk. What is a risk? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Depends. Risk carries both good thing and bad thing. We have 2 types of risk: positive risk and a negative risk. Negative risks are totally pure risk. We try to avoid those risks by relevant strategies. And what are those good risks? A positive risk. Those are risks that help us to improve or increase our value. In simple English, we call them the higher the risk, the higher the return. So whether we can get those risks and integrate the risks into our business is something that you should think about it. Because previously the accountant put too much attention on risk and restricts the expansion of business. And now, as a new accountant, guys, we should assist the business development as a business partner. We should help the company to directly create a value, but now to restrain it, now to limit it. The previous accounting was too rigid, too focusing on the unnecessary control. But now, ACCA told us that think ahead. Think about the value creation. Think about the way that we can integrate all those all those beneficial risks into our normal daily business or operations, guys. So something changed. Please do not always view risk as something negative, right? So integration of risk is I. And what about the last one? What is O? I personally want them to be the organizationally. What is that? That's your organizational structure. Organizational structure helps the company in decision making or strategy implementations. So if your company do not have a good structure, your decision or the strategies is difficult to be implemented. So focusing on this Casio time, and I hope, I guess you understand the meaning of this. Huawei is trying to show their new things, to show a new face to everybody. All right, and here comes who owns Huawei and who controls Huawei. Let's read who owns Huawei. Who owns, right? Let's read together. Huawei is a private company wholly owned by its employees. Through the union of Huawei Investment Holding Company, and the implement thus employs a shareholding scheme involving 121,269 employees. Only Huawei employees are eligible to participate. No government agencies or outsider organizations hold shares in Huawei. Right? And who controls Huawei? Huawei has a robust corporate governance system. This is something interesting that ensures that the company's independent operation and management and the shareholders' employees elect 115 representatives to form their representative commission. They have a representative commission. This is something like a two-tier board. We studied the corporate governance in SBL. We have a single tier or maybe a one-tier board. This is like a two-tier, guys, two tiers. What are the two tiers in ACCA syllabus? The first tier is a management board. The other tier is a supervisory board. So after you read until here, you need to understand, you need to check whether the Huawei have a supervisory board, of course, obviously. The commission elects the company's board of directors and the supervisory board. See, two tiers, typical two tiers. And the commission, along with the board of directors and supervisory board, decides on manage and monitors the major company. Oh, I forgot to introduce myself. I am one of the supervisors in a company, state-owned company in China. And sometimes I have to help the management board to decide whether their strategy and risk management approaches are suitable or not, right? So two tiers. And carry on. I don't want to spend time on that. And here is enough. Okay, here comes the Huawei corporate governance. Let's read one more time. This is something interesting in your coming examinations because we talked about the corporate governance a lot in strategy business later. The company only exists to serve its customers. The purpose of growing our harvest and increasing the fertility of our soil is to better serve their customers. I think Huawei is very good at using vocabularies in agriculture to demonstrate their philosophies in their business ideologies. Something interesting. Staying customer-centric and creating value for customers are the company's common value, and the complement of authorities is required to drive the facilitations and the implementations of a company's common value. See, as I told you that Huawei's value or Chinese company's value are totally different from Western company's value. The vocabulary is the same, but the meaning that it carries are different. The extent to which it carries is different too. English term, one more time, English term, the value is the value proposition the company is currently holding. But in a Chinese culture, the value carries something ideology, carries something even more, but blurry, not clear, blurry, So that's the difference. We can see that from Huawei's value. And however, without effective control in place, authority unchecked will ultimately hinder such common value, and the company has a well-developed internal corporate governance structure, and under which all governing bodies have clear and focused authority and responsibilities, but operates under checks and balances. This creates a closed cycle of authority and achieves a rational and cyclical succession of authority. And here are their board of directors. The board is highest body responsible for corporate strategy. It's like a definition. If you read Huawei's website, you learn a lot. It's like a quick review of SBR knowledges. Ladies and gentlemen, you see, the board is the highest body responsible for corporate strategy, operation, management, and customer satisfaction. The board's mission is to lead the companies forward, exercise decision-making authorities for corporate strategy operation, and ensure customers' shareholders' interests are best protected. See, interesting. Right, and the main responsibility, I think this is something useful. I guess you should take a photo of it, because something in Huawei's website, we can adopt the answers like this in your coming examinations. If the coming examinations asking you to list the main responsibilities that you recommend for the examiner's cases, for the case in our exams or our client, here are the answers. What are the main responsibilities? First, develop proposals for corporate governance. Review proposals to increase or decrease companies' registered capitals, as well as proposals related to profit distribution or loss recovery. Review the company's stock or options plan and other long-term incentives plan. Review or approve plans for entering and exciting different industry sectors, and approve the company's strategy plan. Approve major structure change, organizational restructuring, management system, blah, blah, blah. These are all what the board is supposed to do in any type of company. Very good, guys. Even better than the corporate governance itself. All right, let's check. The main responsibility of the board are also as follows: approve major financial policies, approve company annual budget proposals, appoint removal, compensation, long-term incentive of senior management, approve major HR, human resource policies, proposal of manager, blah, blah, something you should read carefully. After you read the real case, you understand the SBL knowledge better. All right, guys? Here comes the Huawei Supervisory Board. And please just go back and read your home. Right? And they have their independent auditors as well. This is their corporate governance structure. Like two sittings before. Yeah, 2 sittings before, the examiners asked the students, candidates to elaborate the corporate governance structure. So many students got confused about the corporate governance structure and the organizational structure. That's totally 2 different things, ladies and gentlemen. Organizational structure is like a booms of your company to help the decision implemented. Corporate governance structure is like this. You need to tell them the members of the board and who are how many EDs, how many NEDs are there. Is there 1 tier or 2 tiers? And if it's 2 tier, and what are those people who are in supervisory board? Do you know that? 2 type of people in supervisory board. First type of people in supervisory board is the recommendations or the representatives for venture capitalists or maybe the investors. Let me write down for you. Let me write down something corporate governance. I hope this one will come up again because it's very easy. Supervisory board have 2 type of people in it. First type of people, the election or the recommended person from investors. They represent investors. All right. This is the first type of people. The second type of people in supervisory board represents interest of whom? Interest of employees. That's it. Employees, guys. So any supervisory board has these 2 type of people consisted in it. All right. right? Easy. So when you read Huawei's principle, you need to check whether it's like this. Okay. All right. And carry on. The third one will be the independent auditors. So who is our independent auditors and who are our external auditors? Independent auditors is responsible for auditing a company's annual financial statement. Annual financial statement. In accordance with applicable accounting standards and audit procedures, the independent auditor expresses their opinion as to whether the financial statements are true and fair. They express their opinion on their financial statement. They do not contribute to their daily operations. Who did that? Internal auditors. Not external auditors, not independent auditors from accounting firms, auditing firms, not that. The scope of financial audit and the annual audit results are subject to review by audit committees. Any relationships or services that may potentially affect the objectivities and the independence of independent auditors must be discussed with the audit committee. And the independent auditors may discuss any issues identified or any difficulties encountered during the course of financial audit with the audit committee. So, who is the auditor of Huawei? KPMG since 2000. Yes, since 2000. Right, that's 21 years ago. And the lastly, final one is our internal control. Huawei adopts the COSO framework, guys, which is exactly the same in SBL exam. Our SBL exam uses the COSO framework as your the basic internal control structure. Let me help you to illustrate something. Let me help you clarify something most students got confused with. Because many students have confusion about the corporate governance, internal control, risk management. Let me help you. Which one is the biggest one? Which one has the largest scope? Corporate governance. If I put them into the diagram, corporate governance is this. Risk management is like this. And internal control is like this, guys. Internal control, what do we control? What to control? Internal risk. Internal control is about to control the internal risk, not our external risk. Which function focuses on the external risk? Risk management. So in a company, we have a risk management framework. We have a risk management approach, like identification and recommendation, identification and recording of any risks identified, brainstormed in a risk register, like a risk assessment, like the risk strategy, or even monitoring and control. So these are the basic fundamental risk framework in a company. It's all called a risk management. Internal control is part of it. It focuses on the internal risks. Corporate governance is the largest one. It also covers the leadership, also covers the best practices recommended by the places that you list your company with, such as in USA, we have a Sarbanes-Oxley. In UK, we call them a UK Corporate Governance Code. If you want to list your company in these two places, you have to obey their law. You have to make sure your company's corporate governance is closely aligned with what their requirement, what they required. All right, guys. So these are the relationships among these three. Let me help you to clarify that. So if you want to further study the internal control, COSO cube is something that you are about to focus on. If you put a COSO framework in your company, the risk, especially the internal risk, will be closely linked and closely locked inside this cube. That's the purpose. We designed the cube, American designed this cube to help the company lock the internal risks inside. All right. And that's it. I don't want to spend time on that because I think many of you are familiar with the COSO cube. That's quite enough. You are not familiar with it, just go back and read our SBL syllabus or the SBL text. That will be enough. All right, guys, here are Huawei's. And I think that will be all, right? So today I spent like 25 minutes on Huawei's corporate governance and their leadership style. Oh yes, just one thing that I wanted you to know, that their leadership in the Huawei, because I did some research, I have a couple of friends working for Huawei. They are very flexible, and their boss, Mr. Ren Zhengfei, is it's like a crazy man, you know, guys. They always put their employees in somewhere very difficult, very dangerous, like South Africa, Middle East. So they believe something that the danger carries the value. And I love that. I like that. I love this charismatic nature of their leaders, and I really respect. I pay my best, fully respect to Mr. Ren Zhengfei. But if you work for Huawei, and you take your own risk, right? Guys, you take your own risk. It's not as what you think, right? They enjoy the risk environment. They love their adventures globally. All right, guys, I think you find our today's short session is enough, and I hope that you are aware of the three things. First, SBL is not difficult, but you need to read more. You need to keep building up your knowledge. Second, put yourself into the right position. Are you the senior manager in the company? Are you the consultant, external consultant, or are you simply the operation directors or the internal auditors in the company? So you have to make sure that you are clarified and that you are clear about your position in the case. Who are you? What are the roles that you are about to kept changing in the case? Requirement number one, you are the boss. Requirement number two, you are the external auditors. Your role kept changing. And the third thing that you are supposed to be careful about SBL is our syllabus has been changed like 15% to 20%. So be aware of that. The syllabus has been changed in your coming examinations. All right, guys, I think that will be all for our work today. And here is our Golden Education's all necessary information. You can, you know where to find me, and you know where to find all those necessary informations. All right, guys, are you satisfied with what I have shared with you tonight? All right, useful. Thank you. Right, thank you. And let's perhaps have a 1 or 2 minutes Q&A. Any questions, guys? Any questions you would like to share with me? Really useful. Little White, what a cute name. Sussy, useful, thank you. Mr. D said, or maybe Miss D said, do we have more white banner in future? Yes, of course. If you want to have more banner like this, if you find the banners like this useful, please just comment on it. If you said it's useful, and the ACCA will help us to conduct more of these seminars or the webinars to all of us, right? They will be having more time, because today I only have 1 hour to share with you. Maybe next time, or maybe next time, we can deliver or talk about something even more. SBL is not difficult. We just need to have more time. All right, guys. Any other questions? No? All right. Then that will be all. All right, guys. Thank you. And what time is it in your place? We are from different time zone. What time is it? Maybe you can tell me. If you do not have any other further questions, that's all for today. All right, guys. Yes, of course. Look forward to see you. Thanks a lot. All right. Look forward to see you too. All right, guys. That will be all. Thanks a lot. Good luck and all the best to your coming examinations and your preparations. All right, guys. Any questions? Just be free to let me know. I am a very, very energized person. I have a great amount of energies which are dedicated to help you. All right, guys, that will be all. Thank you. Yes, enjoy the beautiful time. Enjoy the beautiful night here. And bye-bye. All right, guys, bye-bye.